Authorities say nearly 4 pounds of drugs were seized during 3 separate busts, as well as over $10,000 in drug proceeds in Kennebec County last May. 5 people have been arrested. Kyle Demachak and his passenger Timothy Freeman are facing charges of aggravated trafficking of drugs and refusing to submit to arrest, while Freeman faces a charge of unlawful trafficking of drugs. Police found 431 grams of crack cocaine, 392 grams of pure powder cocaine, and over $2,200 in suspected drug proceeds. A man and woman were also arrested that same day at a home in Oakland. Michael Seegers and Samantha Decker are facing multiple charges, including aggravated trafficking of drugs. Authorities found 70 grams of crack cocaine, 21 grams of methamphetamine, 82 grams of fentanyl, 1 handgun, and over $7,800 of suspected drug proceeds. The 5th arrest last week following the report of suspicious activity at a home in West Gardner. 54-year-old Lisa Demers of Newport is facing multiple charges, including aggravated trafficking, violation of conditions of release, and operating after suspension. Authorities found 56 grams of methamphetamine, 12 grams of liquid fentanyl, 706 grams of packaged fentanyl, 12 grams of cocaine, and 13 grams of cocaine in her car.